Hello everybody, it's Lanix, and in today's video, it's been a while since I made my last one, so I thought I'd do a video today, and it's going to be about Hearthstone. Hearthstone's a game I've been playing for a couple months now, definitely, since last year anyway. And I figure I love card games, so I figure I'd show you guys a deck that I've been working on and trying to make it better. Currently, I'm at rank 5 in the ladder and climbing still, but like the deck's holding up very well around that area. So I'll go over what's in it. And I don't normally play rogue either, but I've had a lot of success playing this deck in the current meta game. And I'm gonna go over each of these cards in here and just give you an idea of why they're in here. So you have your two backstabs. Backstab is it's such an essential rogue card. This should be in every rogue deck. It's just way too good for 0 mana. And it's great combo initiator if you don't have coin for your SI7 agent. In this deck it uses Defias Ringleader too. You could use it for. I think those are the only two. Oh wait, never mind. There's Eviscerate as well, and Cold Blood. I think that's about all of the combo cards in here. And we have one Shadow Step. Originally, I had two Shadow Steps in here, but when I was drawing them, I'm like, okay, this is too much. I have to cut down on it. So I ended up settling on one Shadow Step. I figured that was good, or it was a good amount, because Leroy is not necessarily while it's really good in this deck, and it can serve as the win condition, which is really good. It's not necessary, because this deck does punch them for a lot of damage, and I don't think it's you don't really need to rely on it as much as you would in, say, Miracle Rogue. But it's good to have it there, so you can use it on whatever you want. It doesn't even necessarily have to be for Leroy. Cold Blood, solid card, great for pushing damage, great for taking out big taunts, whatever you have to do. It's a great card. Deadly Poison, that should be self-explanatory. Another great rogue card, great for combo initiator, great for buffing your damage output on the board, everything. It's really good. Shield Bearer. Now this is an interesting card, because it's usually only seen in Zoo decks, the Zoo Warlock decks. But I decided to put it in this rogue as a test. It works surprisingly well as a combo initiator, and I like it better than say Sinister Strike or something like that for a combo initiator, because it protects your minions on board that would essentially probably output more than 3 damage during the upcoming turns anyways, so it works so well. And it's just one more card that they have to punch through if they have a weapon or something else, and it's so good at protecting your minions. It does its job so well for 1 mana. It's insane. I can't tell you how many times I've won games due to Shield Bearer in this deck. It works incredibly well. You have Blade Flurry. This is a pretty common card. It's really good for pushing through damage, and it hits their hero as well, which is amazing if you want to keep hitting them for damage. If you have your Assassin's Blade, you have a Deadly Poison on it. Think of it as a Flame Strike that also hits their face. So it's really good. I'm only playing one of them currently. It's really good against Shaman. It's really good against Zoo. Really good against Zoo and Shaman alike. Eviscerate is in here for pushing damage through. You can use it to kill taunts. You don't have to hit their face with it, but it's really good. It's there for just pushing damage through where it needs to be. Sap is in here because rogues tend to have problems dealing with big taunt guys. This deck does put on a lot of damage really quickly, And so when your opponents are dropping big taunt enemies, you have like really no easy way to push through it, and that's kind of what sap is for. So you can sap back like a big taunt creature, and you can keep pushing at their face, and then hopefully you'll be able to kill them before they replay that creature. Is essentially why it's in the deck. It's also in there, so you can like if you have a really big tempo advantage and they like innervated out a Druid of the Claw or something, you can sap it back and then just keep pushing at their face and increase your tempo. And like it's like a really good tempo play. Like this deck already plays a lot of creatures, so you can expand, so you can gain more tempo, and just make them essentially waste another turn replaying their creature while you push out more damage at their face, which brings you that much closer to lethal. So it's like really good for that. Like let me give you an example. I played the deck against a paladin. It came down to the very end. Like it was so close. Like like if Tyrion were to come out, I probably wouldn't have been able to win. Maybe like I was really ahead. Like I had good tempo advantage, but if Tyrion would come out, I'd have to waste all my minions killing it. So Tyrion comes out, I sap it, and I win the game by just attacking. I mean, like, it's stuff like that that makes it really good in this deck. And then Shiv. Shiv is here for drawing a card. Because if you'll notice, this deck doesn't really have much card draw. Like, it doesn't have a Gadgetzan Auctioneer. It doesn't run Fan of Knives, so it's a little bit harder to get cards than a normal rogue. So Shiv's there to put on damage where it can, but you also get a card draw out of it, which is really good. Bloodsail Raider is just this. It's like for rogue, it's a solid 2-drop because if you have a weapon, it's a 3/3 for 2 mana. I mean, that's really good. Typically, I like to play it as a 3/3. Like sometimes, depending on what matchup it is. Like if I'm playing against Zoo, or I think if I'm playing against like it really depends. If I have it in my starting hand, I might coin out my weapon so I can play it on turn 2 as a 3/3, and that's pretty good against Zoo because if they play something like Shield Bearer on the turn after, it actually lets me it lets me be able to kill Shield Bearer by just running Bloodsail Raider in and draining a weapon charge on it. So like it's really good for that. I think it's a solid 2-drop in a rogue deck. Here you have Defias Ringleader. Now, this deck went through a couple iterations. I wasn't sure about this guy. Like, like I really felt like in an early iteration of this, where I think I was running Preparations even. Like I wasn't really liking him in the deck very much. Like he was sitting in my hand, but with this newer version of the deck, I really like him. Because I always seem to be able to combo him out, so I always get the 2/2 and the 2/1. I think in most cases he's fine to play off the coin. I mean, I tend to do that against Druid because like this deck's about putting damage on their face, and I mean if they don't deal with it, and if I have like a Direwolf Alpha in my hand, then I can just play that the next turn and I can put 6 damage on them. I mean it's like really good. Like I like him in the current deck. I'm not sure if I'll take him out. Currently I like how he's performing, so I think I'm gonna keep him in. Probably gonna keep him in the deck for the foreseeable future. Direwolf Alpha. Direwolf Alpha is another card you see a lot in Warlock Zoo, and like it does its job really well. It gives adjacent minions +1 attack, and I mean it's just that much more damage that you can put on their face each turn, or you can put on their minions to help clear stuff. I mean it's really good. So like this one should be like self-explanatory. It's just a great card for 2 mana. SI7 Agent, solid. Probably one of the, I don't want to call it the best, but it's a solid rogue card. Probably one of the better rogue cards in my opinion. You combo it out, it does 2 damage. It's so good against things like Zoo. It's great against Keeper of the Groves if you backstab and then play him. yeah, you backstab a Keeper of the Grove, and then you play SI7 Agent for the 2 damage on the Keeper. It like kills it. It's like insanely good. Leroy Jenkins is here for. He's there for kind of like a kill condition. Like, you can use him as a kill condition if you want. You can use him to clear minions if you want. You can use him as a combo initiator if you want. I mean, I've actually won a game just by using him as a combo initiator, so I could eviscerate face. So he's there for a lot of different reasons. Like, this deck bursts a lot of damage, and if I can, and I think it's relatively easy to get them to the point where like Leroy, Coldblood, Shadow Step Leroy will kill them and things like that. I think that works really well. So I'm keeping him in the deck for now. I think he works fine in it. Senjin Shieldmaster, he's in here just because he's a solid 4. Yeah, he's a solid 4 taunt. And I mean, this deck has a lot of weak creatures in it though, so he's more or less there like Shield Bearer is to protect the weaker creatures, so you can keep pushing at their face and whatnot. So that's why he's there more or less. He's there more or less for that. Same as Shield Bearer. Assassin's Blade is in here because I think you should always, for the most part, always run at least one Assassin's Blade in your rogue deck, because if you play the Deadly Poison on it and they don't have an Ooze or they don't have a Harrison Jones to deal with it, like, you're pushing a lot of damage. That's like 20 potential damage that you could put in on their face just off your weapon alone. Like, it's really, really good. And it combos really well with Blade Flurry. Azure Drake, once again, more or less the same purpose as the Shiv, but probably a little more important due to the spell damage. It draws a card, it gives me spell damage +1, it's a 4/4. I mean, it's overall it's a pretty solid card for Rogue in my opinion. So that's why he's here. Like, I definitely have won games due to Azure Drake, so I mean, he's been performing well, so I think he's likely to stay in the deck. I mean, we'll see. This deck might go through a couple more iterations. There's definitely a couple things I want to try with it. So like, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. There's definitely a lot of different things I want to try with this deck, and I guess I'll see where it goes. If I update anything, I might put an updated version of the deck in the description. Like, it's possible that that's what I'll do. And I might make a new video too. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, because like I already went over what most of these cards do, and I'm not 100% sure if I'll have to make another video, but we'll see. Maybe I will. I'm wondering if I should go over certain mulligan choices for matchups, I guess. But typically with this deck, what I like to have in each matchup is just because it plays a lot of minions. Like, it plays a lot of stuff that Miracle Rogues don't usually have. Like, it just plays a lot of minions. So what I like to have is, I like to have a handful of minions. Like, I don't really like spells in it that much, because, I mean, unlike Miracle Rogue, it doesn't necessarily need to rely on Blade Flurry to clear board. Like, it can use its minions to do that. And so I just like to have a mix of minions. Like, if I'm going first, though, I don't want to keep SI7 Agent unless I have like Backstab or something to combo it out, because you don't want Shadow Step. You don't want Shadow Step in your opening hand. You don't want Cold Blood. Deadly Poison is pretty good. You don't really want Shield Bearer. He's not like as essential as he is in Zoo, where like it's a card where, hey, if you play this turn 1, it's probably really good because you have a lot of 1-drops to accompany it. But he's like the only 1-drop minion in this deck, so I wouldn't keep him unless you feel like you really need him. Like, I wouldn't keep him in your starting hand. Blade Flurry, once again, you probably don't need to keep it because you play a lot of minions and you don't really need it as much. But like, if you feel safer keeping Blade Flurry, then you should probably keep it. But I don't think you need it. Like, I've been fine mulliganing it. Eviscerate's another card you probably don't need to keep. Sap, you definitely don't need to keep. Shiv, probably don't need to keep it because you're probably just gonna cycle it out for another card anyways. And I mean, it's 2 mana, so you might as well get a 2 mana creature or something. Like Bloodsail Raider's a card that I'd want to keep. Like it's solid. Defias Ringleader. Going first, I probably wouldn't keep him. Going second, I probably would. Direwolf Alpha is a card I'd probably always keep in my hand. SI7 Agent, going second, I'd keep him in my hand. Going first, probably not unless I had a combo initiator. Defias Ringleader is a card where if I had Backstab in my hand going first, I'm not 100% sure if I still would want him in my hand. Like, he's not a bad card, but I'd probably put him back looking for Bloodsail Raider instead. Leroy Jenkins, you don't want that card in your starting hand ever. Senjin's alright. Going second, Senjin's probably pretty good. You should probably think about keeping him. Going first, if your hand is like terrible and you absolutely feel like you need a taunt, he's not the worst card you could keep, you know. Assassin's Blade, I'd probably always put it back. Azure Drake, I'd probably always put back. Unless you absolutely need it and you're going second. I would not keep Azure Drake if you're going first. And I think that's more or less all the choices. There's, yeah, I think that's it. You want to play the deck kind of like you're going, I think the deck's worked out a lot better when you push damage on the face. Like every opportunity you get, you can push damage towards the face. But when you can clear a minion, you probably should take that opportunity. I think the deck works a lot better though when you push towards the face, but I still haven't figured that out 100% myself either. But I feel like when you push towards the face, the deck just works a lot better. But like if you can clear a minion, you probably should. Like if that minion's definitely gonna do some damage next turn, or definitely gonna hurt your board next turn, like you have a feeling it's gonna be a problem, you should probably remove it. Well, that's basically the gist of this deck. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you with the next video.